Hi, I'm Kathleen Galdo, and this is a part of my series, Skills and Tips for not just surviving, but thriving when in a high conflict work environment. Whether we're aware of it or not, we all bring family of origin dynamics into the workplace. We bring both functional and unfunctional, resolved and often unresolved dynamics with us, simply because it's our original model. It's our basic template for group interaction and group dynamics. And we often do this subconsciously in both virtual and in-person settings. So these tips and skills can help you not just manage your own response to difficult dynamics, but in some cases, depending on how you use them, can help you actually influence change for the better. These skills are inspired from 17 years of experience helping clients to manage work stress. So I've done a lot of research in addition to just being in the workforce for 30 years myself. Skill number 2 is ask clarifying questions. So this is about trusting your instincts, but not acting on negative assumptions. Instead of responding to a negative assumption, you're asking clarifying questions, not just to rule out negative thoughts, but to encourage transparency and mutual cooperation whenever possible. In rare cases, and I mean rare cases, it might not be possible. But at least you did your best, right? At least you can be proud of how you handled it. But in the majority of cases where it is possible, this skill will help you tremendously. This is especially true if you are in a work environment where there are unclear roles or expectations. If there are misunderstandings, instead of jumping to conclusions, ask clarifying questions. Depending on the situation, the clarifying question could be as simple as, how do you suggest I prioritize things? Are there any additional resources I could utilize to complete these projects? It's easy to assume that these things would be laid out for you, but that's not always the case. And asking simple questions like this can go a long way in clearing the air, improving dynamics, and preventing misunderstandings. You might not have a right to ask your supervisor about their own job responsibilities, but you should always have the right to obtain the information that you need to do your job well. And you're not expected to know everything. It's okay to ask questions. Just be mindful of the questions you ask and the attitude you use when you're forming and asking the questions. For example, if you've had a bad day, and you just got like your 5th new case of the week, and you're noticing everybody else is only getting 1 case each week. You're feeling overwhelmed. And so instead of going over to whoever supervises you and saying, hey, what the heck's happening here? Why do I have 30 cases and Jenna, Greg, and Richie over there only have 20 each? What the heck? You got a problem with me or something? No, don't do that. Okay, instead, take some deep breaths, try to get in a positive mindset, and think about some questions that you can ask. And when you're feeling more calm, you might approach it by saying something along the lines of, hello, good afternoon, Mr. So-and-so. I wasn't sure if you realize this, but I have 30 cases. I don't mind taking a few extra cases, but I also want to make sure that I can fulfill my other job responsibilities. With 30 cases currently, I'm finding it to be a challenge. Can you help me out? Do you have any suggestions? Give them a chance. Your manager might actually help you. It's possible, right? It's also possible that the manager wasn't aware. Or if they were aware, maybe it might be because they feel like you're more competent at handling the cases. But, if you advocate for yourself in the appropriate way, they might be willing to give some of your other responsibilities to other employees, or maybe take some of the load off and not give you more cases for a few days. But you don't know until you speak up. Now, for someone who grew up in a dysfunctional home, especially if there was any kind of verbal abuse, chances are you're afraid that the manager is going to tell you to shove the cases up your you-know-what. Well, If they do that, I think that's a violation of standard protocol, okay? I don't think they're allowed to do that. Approach the situation when you're feeling calm and focused, and just know it is absolutely okay for you to, number one, ask clarifying questions and advocate for yourself. You're also letting the people that you work with, whether supportive, neutral, or incredibly difficult to work with, it doesn't matter. You're showing your colleague or your supervisor that, number one, you speak up appropriately. Two, you value transparency and likely won't keep secrets. Three, you value being a team player. Well, four, you expect to keep reasonable boundaries. You're willing to be informed. And six, you're willing to fulfill your job duties, of course, within reason, right? They have to be realistic. So in this way, this usually is more of a trust building exercise. Any supervisor or manager who cares even this much about being fair and doing things the right way will likely actually appreciate if you come and discuss this with them. Work environments, they're intimidating for everyone, whether you're new or old to the game, whether you grew up in a home where dynamics were incredibly healthy or things were more challenging. We're all, like I said, we're all humans and we're all out there just doing our best. But if you can do your best to not take things personally and approach things with curiosity, ask those clarifying questions, you're much more likely to have, or at least create, the most possible positive experience for yourself. Thank you for watching, and I look forward to seeing you in my next video when I cover the 3 remaining of my 5 skills for not just surviving, but thriving in a difficult work environment. Bye for now.